All right. All praises be to the Most High. We're going to go over a few things in the scriptures that will hopefully, through the Spirit, that I really, through the Spirit, hope will resonate through the brothers and sisters and to the brothers and sisters throughout the four corners of the earth when it comes to truth, spirituality, and understanding. All right. Today we're going to go into full understanding of what the Gentiles call the underworld. All right. A lot of you may have noticed that there is especially on the political side of things and the platforms that we see through media or what have you, that there's been a large concentration of demonology, Satanism, Luciferian doctrine and understanding, and Satan and demonic forces themselves come into the forefront and being introduced within society. We did a lesson not too long ago called A Luciferian World. All right. Now, of course, we're not going to aim towards really concentrating on them per se, because we understand that those that are behind these campaigns are Satanists and are looking to deceive and distract us. We're going into this today through the Spirit of Christ, Yeshua, for believers, for us. All right. There's a few things that's happening in the earth right now. All right. That I wanted to touch on, that I know that Shapat probably go into in the academy tomorrow as far as the news. And then I'm going to go into this lesson in full detail. A lot of you probably haven't noticed that over 350,000 troops are in the Middle East, guided by the Saudis family along with the Western world for a drill, a world war drill. The first drill with the vast number of 350,000 troops done within any region on earth right now. Now, there's no other place we can resolve what's going on in the earth and in the Middle East without the Bible. The Bible tells, that proves the Bible is the book of the Most High. I don't care what Gentile nations try to claim when they claim the Bible is not true and this is just a war and it's just regular, it always happens and all that. They can never give you records on why things is according to prophecy. They can never say, well, this is what's really going on according to this record. Only the Bible resolves world events and what's really going on within the earth. Right? All nations are now being drawn into a war in the Middle East. In that area on purpose. It was prophesied thousands of years before their drill last week. Okay? What's going on is what they call the one world order is to have all these wars to bring all nations of the earth under one military in preparation to fight against what they know is coming from out of the sky. Okay? And if people don't believe something is coming from out of the sky, this earth was made from a substance, from a spirit that came from someplace else. So all nations, this is what they can't tell the majority of people, that this is a spiritual warfare. How can they get all nations everywhere complicit in their war against the heavenly realm? Well, they must first make each continent or each country believe that there's an outside threat so that they can build up their military forces against other nations within the earth. So they'll fabricate scenarios to make you think there's a threat. But really, you aren't. These young men and women that are preparing for war are not preparing just to fight an enemy in another continent or in another country. They're preparing to be utilized through the UN powers forces for a war they'll lose. If the majority of people that was joining these armed forces knew that they were actually being initiated into a confederacy against the Most High God himself, how would they recruit people to their army? An impossibility. So in order for them to get people into their military, they have to trick them and deceive them. Satan is the ultimate deceiver. So they create these enemies. This, and what they call World War III, okay? It's really another stage in Satan formulating his army against what's coming. That's all it is. It's another phase. Okay? The World War powers has resistance. So they must break their resistance so that all nations are on one accord by the time Christ breaks the atmosphere. So that's what these wars are about. Don't let them tell you that these wars are about bin Laden or about oil or about money. Okay, those little political scenarios are compartmentalized reasons for the regular population. It's not about money. It's not about oil. It's not about power. It's not about anything they're telling you. It's about time. Okay? They understand the times and the judgment of those who rule this world and how much time they have to rule and what forces they must have in play and weaponry they must have in play for this final battle. That's what they're over in the Middle East for. And that's why all through every platform they try to minimize the Bible and try to claim the Bible is a fairy tale book and there's an imaginable man out in space and you believe on that because they just don't want you to read and understand what's really going on. The only book that can resolve what's happening in this earth is the Holy Bible. Period. So I'm going to say for a lot of us, we have to really direct our conversations and how we interact with others carefully. And I'm going to say this because a lot of us run around and online or amongst people and we sitting there debating unbelievers and all that and trying to get them to see things your way. It's not even about that. The majority of the earth were brought up outside of the Bible. And I'm speaking of the Gentile nations. They got an entirely different perception on what being good or bad is. Mm-hmm. Okay? Don't forget, the Bible itself is really an Israelite book. So other nations already established an understanding of morality according to their nation, their gods, their beliefs. So when we try to bring information to some people according to the Bible, they'll look at you and say, well, while your people was dealing with this, well before that, our people were dealing with this gods and this moral system. And it worked for us just fine. Mm. So I'm going to say this because I'm noticing a lot of debate and fighting amongst people with unbelievers. Let me tell you, it's time to get our focus and shift off of unbelievers. They have to come to a conclusion within themselves that their direction is wrong and repent and choose the right way. You understand what I'm trying to bring forth? It's futile arguing with these Gentile nations concerning what's right or wrong. Because while they have you in these futile debates, we're losing focus on what we should be actually focusing on and preparing for.
Right.
You think the world powers are debating what's true and what's not true? No. They're doing exactly what the Most High said they would do. They believe the Bible, if no one else. Those that control this earth believe the Bible. And their preparation tells us that they know exactly what this Bible says. Right? Now, let's go to 1 Corinthians 10 and 20 first. What are we going into? The full understanding of the underworld. What most call hell or Hades. Before we go there, let's get the body of Jehoshaphat to prove to you that we can make a statement and actually prove why it's happening out of the Bible. The Bible prophesied it. Okay? And whoever believes these compartmentalized stories through the media, you're being led astray. All right? They're looking to have a one body military, a one body social understanding of justice, judicial system, the whole nine. A one world currency, a one world way of operating in their one world system. That's what they're looking for. So now that you see that they're talking about more false flags and all this that's going on in the United States and others with guns and all that, it has nothing to do with what you're seeing. That's all theater. It has something to do with making sure the citizens cannot defend themselves. So the war is on every front. Okay? In order for them to bring this in, they must initiate all of us into their idea, into their war, and make sure people are not able to fight against the system with their arms. So this is what's going on right now, because there's about to be a great paradigm shift here, where they're going to come right out, and they're already doing it. They're already present before us now. They're going to come right out and begin to war against civilians. These false flags you're going to see in malls and all that. You're going to see people running around with guns. When nothing happened for this, there was nothing really happened. They used the theater of news circulations to bring fear in, to put fear in you, so that now you're used to the same people that's going to destroy you walking amongst you. Military. Same thing they did in 70 AD before we were destroyed. So what's going on? There's a militarization of the whole earth, right? What's happening here? Read Joel real quick. Come on.
Joel chapter 3 verse 1.
Come on.
For behold, in those days and in that time.
Yo, somebody close that shade down. Yeah, go on.
Joel 3 and 1. For behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem.
So the same time the Most High is waking up the 12 tribes of Israel throughout the four corners of the earth. So bringing again the captivity is giving Israel the knowledge of themselves in the last days. Letting people know that, no, you're not Negro, you're not African, you're really an Israelite. You're not Puerto Rican, you're not this, you're that. You're really an Israelite. That's the Most High bringing again the captivity of his people. He's giving them the knowledge of themselves and of their forefathers. Read.
Verse 2. I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat and will plead with them there.
Now you see the valley of Jehoshaphat is the valley of decision. When you look at that, Jehoshaphat, it's the valley of decision. So now what's going on politically and otherwise is allowing these prophecies to play out. To where the Most High is allowing these nations to come down there, and they believe they're there for their own turn. But really, it's a prophecy that the Most High had in place. That they would all be in this one area. Like we see the Saudis family is preparing now along with the Roman Empire, the West. The 350,000 troops training down in the Middle East as we speak. That's the Bible. That's the Most High. Read.
I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel.
Hold up. So hold up now. For my heritage Israel. See? So they think they're there for one thing, to protect their national interest, or to prepare in case, someone tried to invade their land, or to go against Iran. They think they're just there to take out Iran. But the Most High have all of their military in the Middle East at this time for a reason. I don't care what the generals are telling their troops. Okay? Read that last part again, Elder Lawyer.
I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land.
Because these are the same nations who took our land and parted it after we fell in 70 AD. So in order for the Most High to take them out, he must first allow a scenario that would weaken their military strength. So the Most High have them there. There's going to be a great war where it's going to be thousands upon thousands being killed. And that's the Most High weakening their military strength. Now the Western world powers, which is what we call the Vatican and Jewry and the Jesuits, want this to happen anyway. Because by default, once this go down and this war begin to happen, all power goes back to Rome. So they want this to happen too. But the Middle East will totally be broken. No longer will the Saudis family and all of them over in the Middle East have a force and a say within the world's platform once this go down. All power will go back to the 10 horns for a time. But now all the armies that was once aligned with the Edomites will be weakened, ready for the coming of Christ, preparing to be broken when Christ come back. Read.
Verse 3.
You have something?
You can bring it after
Go ahead.
it's finished. Verse 3. And they have cast lots for my people and have given a boy for an harlot and sold a girl for wine.
The same people who have separated our families and enslaved us, this is the judgment coming back on them. The Most High is looking to judge all nations that are going in the Middle East and building their armies. This is going to be payback from the God of Israel, because they was able to gain all these resources and power, and they were able to build their strength and military and all that off of our blood, sweat, and tears, off of the death of our forefathers, the bones of our forefathers. So now the Most High is bringing it around full circle.
Mm-hmm.
Go on.
Verse 4, or Salakia, the rest of verse 3. And sold a girl for wine.
And sold a girl for wine.
That they might drink. Yea, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon?
So he's saying, you people that are over there claiming to be Jews and are not, you people in Tyre and Zidon, why are you claiming you down with me? So the Most High is saying, what do you have to do with me, you Jewish atheist powers that went and set up Israel and claim to be Jews and are not? Why are you lying to the people claiming that you are God's people? What do you have to do with me? What are you doing in my people's land?